Dear members of European Parliament, dear President Metsola, dear Roberta, thank you for your powerful words, for our friendship and for your incredible leadership. I always say that unconventional times need unconventional solutions. In last year, Roberta, we took such a step together. We signed a memorandum of cooperation between Belarusian democratic forces and the European Parliament. And it was a clear message to my people. Belarus is Europe. And one day we will take our rightful place in this chamber. I want to give thanks to the members of the delegation for Belarus, led by Małgorzata Gosiewska, and to Rapporteur Helmut Brandstauer. Thank you for working with democratic Belarus and not with illegitimate regime in Minsk. Just last week in Rome, we held a historic summit of the Interparliamentary Alliance for Democratic Belarus, hosted by the Italian Parliament. Deputies from 17 European countries signed the Rome Memorandum, showing that Belarus' fight for freedom is Europe's fight too. And I want to commend the European External Action Service, the European Commission, and the European Endowment for Democracy for your support for Belarusian media and civil society. Every euro spent on truth and resistance builds a shield against the spread of tyranny. And finally, I want to thank all your nations for welcoming Belarusians fleeing repressions, especially Poland and Lithuania, which have sheltered hundreds of thousands. And I want to congratulate Lithuanian friends who celebrate the Day of Restoration of Independence today. From your own history, you know the true value of solidarity when your homeland is under occupation. Ačiū, draugai. Esteemed members of the European Parliament, I want to thank each of you, not only for standing with Belarus and Ukraine, but also Georgia, Moldova, and Armenia. We all stand in the same zone of uncertainty, asking ourselves, who will stand with us for our freedom? Will our countries ever be safe and free? Or will we remain in the shadow of a giant, a force that does not respect us, does not recognize our sovereignty, and denies our place as free nations of Europe? Are we to be sacrificed, offered to the giant in the hope that giving him just us will make them stop? That he will take what he wants and go no further? But we know history. The hunger of the empire is never satisfied. Yes, we live in uncertain times, but uncertainty must not lead to hesitation. Who will defend Europe if not Europeans themselves? Must we always look across the Atlantic for protection? Or is it time to say, we will stand up for each other, for our freedom and yours, as the famous motto says? Dear friend, in such times, International Women's Day is not about celebration, it's about struggle. And today, many Belarusian women don't receive flowers, they receive prison sentences. They don't march in parades, they march into courtrooms. They don't enjoy the luxury of peace and democracy, they have to fight for it. And we fight. We fight not to be in the shadow of the revanchist Russian Empire, seeking to subjugate our nations and to erase everything that connects us to Europe, our language, our culture, our identity. We fight for our political prisoners, more than 1,200 behind bars, including 155 women, isolated, tortured, denied medical care, yet they refuse to give up. We fight for justice, so that every perpetrator of oppression, of torture and war crimes is held accountable, because justice delayed is justice denied. We fight for very values that define Europe: freedom, security, and prosperity. And Belarus is proof: without freedom, there is no security, and without security, there is no prosperity. And of course, we fight for Ukraine because our fates are intertwined. Without a free Ukraine, there will be no free Belarus. And without a free Belarus, there will be no lasting peace in Europe. And we fight against illusions. Putin and Lukashenko don't want peace. They want submission. Any lasting peace must be built on respect, yet Putin has shown none. Like a drunken neighbor, he acts aggressively whenever he doesn't get his way. And without a real shift in his ambitions, any peace will be just a pause, a brief reprieve for Belarus and Ukraine. And it may not stop there. Ask Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. They all wonder, if Ukraine falls, if Belarus disappears, are we next? There should be no next. That is why we also fight for Europe. Europe that doesn't give in to dictators and keeps them isolated, but not appeased. Because we know dictators will not stop until we stop them. And we can do it only together. Dear friends, free Belarus is only possible when Europe is strong and united. As you discuss rearming Europe, I urge you to see support for Belarus as an investment into your own security. Belarus is key to stopping Russia's advance in Europe. Without a free and independent Belarus, the threat of war will not end, not for Ukraine, not for Europe. As some allies pull back, I call on the European Union to step up. On one hand, increase assistance for Belarusian independent media, strengthen our resistance, show Belarusians a clear European perspective so they know what they are fighting for. On the other hand, intensify pressure on Lukashenko's regime. I urge you to see Belarus not only as a problem, but as an opportunity to make Europe safer. While isolating dictators, don't isolate our people. Provide visas, close borders for goods, not for passengers. We must not allow the dictators to build a new Iron Curtain and cement Russia's grip on Belarus for years to come. Of course, changes in Belarus is our task and duty, but to win, we need allies. And I came here to say, we need you, Europe, and we need each other. Let me assure you, we will not stop. Belarusians will not stop until every political prisoner is free, until every Russian soldier leaves our country, until we hold trials for crimes against humanity, until we take our country back. Yes, this fight is not easy, but thanks to you, to your passion, to your continued support, I know that Belarus and Ukraine will be free. And when that day comes, we will stand together in safe and peaceful Europe, free of war, free of tyranny, and free of fear. A Europe where borders are not redrawn by force, where nations choose their own future, where democracy always prevails, and where Belarus, Ukraine, and other nations are not in the shadow of the empire, but take our rightful place in the heart of Europe. Живи Беларусь! Слава Україні! Long live Europe!